Would you trust an agent that told you that they could sell your house for and it only cost you 1%? Um, or would you have some questions? Would you be like, why is it only 1%? Is this guy full of BS? Is this agent just desperate for some work? Or would you ask a different question? Would you be like, why is everybody else telling me a much different number? These are the questions that kind of initially popped up in my head when I heard this strategy. So my name's Lee. I'm a real estate agent, Salt Lake City, and I recently had the privilege of speaking with another agent who sells a ton of homes, at least in standards for Utah, Salt Lake City area. I think he sold somewhere around 70 homes last year. I think the top producing agent sold roughly like 200. I want to say this gentleman's in like the top 25 producing agents, and he has a very unique strategy. He markets to potential home listers that he can sell their home for like 1 or 1.5%. So I was talking to him about it, and I was very curious. I was like, so how does that work exactly? And I have some ideas, right? I think, it's a good strategy to kind of get your foot in the door, and get listing appointments, and then you kind of hit them with like what 1.5% gets you, right? So I was just thinking, like, from my perspective, if I was in his position, how would I pitch it, right? And it'd be like, all right, so 1.5%, you get the bare minimum, right? We're gonna just list your home. I'm just gonna probably take pictures of your home with my phone. I'm not gonna hire like a professional photographer to come in and give you like the best quality photos, the best angles, the best lighting, things like that. And we're just gonna put your home on the MLS. It's gonna go out to Zillow. It's gonna go out, on all of the regular sites. But that's it. Not gonna do anything else. No open houses, no real marketing for it, bare bones, and then you say, home buyers are like, well, that's probably gonna take a long time for my home to sell if you're just doing that minimum amount of work. And that's where you kind of hit them with like, yeah, like, or I can do it for 2.5%, 3%, and I'll hire a professional photographer. I'll pay for the high-end floor plan 3D renderings on Zillow. I'll market it on all social media and things like that. And that's why it costs more. So it's a good strategy. I think it was very clever to get you in the home of potential sellers. But nobody wants the bare minimum of work done, especially like when you're trying to sell your home, especially here in Salt Lake, or Utah in general. Last year, I want to say the average home price, and this is average, right? There's obviously much higher, there's much lower. But the average home sale last year was like $670,000 a home. So when you are selling something with that price, you don't want the bare minimum. But also, if you want to save a little bit of money, you don't think like an agent really deserves those kind of commission checks, right? A $670,000 house at 3%, that's like pushing $20,000 commission check. And some people are like, nah, what does an agent actually do? My house sells itself. Like, how are they actually earning their check and things like that? And rightfully so. I mean, that's how I got involved in real estate to begin with. I listed my townhome for sale, and I was very proactive in talking to like the agents that came in. And again, when you list a home, the listing agent they're not there for all the showings, right? It's the buyer's agents that are there walking their clients through and stuff like that. And, a lot of times I would be home, so I'd be there to talk. It's like, oh yeah, I put a new furnace in, we redid all of our carpet, we painted the rooms, blah, 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 right? So some sellers do get a little jaded, and they're like, well, my agent isn't even really doing anything. Like, all they did was put it on the MLS, and because it's a nice quality home, it's bringing people inside to check it out, and I get it, especially like with these kind of home prices. But in other areas, like where I grew up in like a small town, Wisconsin, where a $300,000 home was like, you were doing it, right? You had a nice house. Like people were like, oh wow, like they have a really nice house. Where the average home in that town is probably like 200, and this is now, right? The average home price is like 200,000. You know, lower end is like 100,000. But go back 15 years when I actually lived there, it was much different, right? I think the average home price then was probably like $50,000 to $75,000. So yeah, so like $3,000 or 3% commission on something like that isn't very much. It'd probably be real. I mean, you have to do a lot of volume at 3% even to make any money on a $50,000 house. Where in Utah, if you do 3% commission at even $500,000 a house, that's 15 grand. You sell 10 houses, not even one a month, and you can make some decent money. So I understand the strategy, right? If you want to pitch doing volume, then I can understand, selling at a much, lower interest rate. I was just kind of curious of like what everyone else's perception might be. I just think right away when I hear of something that's like severely reduced in price or very discounted, I think either that place or that business or that person's desperate for business, or there's something grossly wrong with it, right? Like if it's a newer pickup truck and it's like half the price of what everyone else would sell their truck for. Usually you immediately think like, oh, has it been in an accident? Has it been crashed? Salvage title? Is there something currently wrong with it? Engine, transmission. It also reminds me of, I think I heard Grant Cardone say it, but I don't know. I'm sure it came from somewhere else before that. And I don't even know what he was talking about. He might have been talking about like service businesses, right? And he's referring to there's three things that you get when you buy something or when you request a service for something. It's price, it's quality, and it's how fast can it be done. And you only get 2 out of the 3, right? If you want it done fast and you want it done cheap, then the quality probably won't be good. But if you want it done with high quality and you want it done cheap, then it probably won't be fast, right? So you only get 2 out of the 3 things. So how that relates in this case is when you're pitching this idea of cheap service, then you're probably going to be short in another area, right? You're probably going to be short in speed, or you're probably going to be short in quality, and things like that. So there's always these kind of different things to take into consideration. And I understand like this gentleman's strategy, right? This really good marketing, it gets him in the door, it gets him face to face with different customers and different clients and things like that. And then he can really pitch him like his strategy. So at the end of the day, does this work for you guys? Like, would you at least entertain letting someone come in and kind of like pitch their rationale of like why they could potentially sell your home for 1.5%, or would you just be like skeptical of what they were doing and be able to catch on pretty quick what the idea was behind it? I mean, the guy is super successful. I mean, it's only the second to last day of February, and he's already got over 20 listings already this year. So I think the strategy works. I think it definitely gets him in communication with potential sellers. And then at the end of the day, I mean, it's still at the end of the day, it's up to him to close them, right? But I'm gonna wrap this up. So let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.